Hello world, this is JWP, J-Ward Primo Beats, coming to you live from my bedroom. Check out my website, jwpsite.com, for my social links, latest news and updates, and public offerings. If you'd like to help support what I do, check out my Patreon, JWP Patreon. That's with 2 P's. There's exclusive content there for making your own audio plugins in SynthEdit, or my GoFundMe, JWP Fund. If you're watching this on YouTube, a like, comment, and/or subscribe are appreciated. I will be looking at a conceptual plugin I call Comb EQ. The idea is to have an EQ, a series of like EQs, 120, I do believe to be exact. There's 10 octaves, each octave has 12 notes. Comb EQ is to sort of boost or attenuate notes or notes between notes. As well, I want to integrate scales. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm not going to spend too much time on it today. As much as I'd like to just finish it, I'm not sure that's going to be possible. All right, so looking at the workflow I used to have, this is the original version of Sweet Spots, and this is the comb section. We have settings, on, off, notes, between notes, main. So main consists of spread, which is the distance between notes, width, which is the width for the band notches, band passes, band peaks, poles, band peaks again, center, band peaks, center, and gain, that's the overall gain, of course. Then split is between them all, so we can boost or cut individually, and scale. So this is scaling them forward to back, I do believe. And 8. So we go 10 times 8, or whatever. So I believe that's the width as well. So some of this, a lot of this is going to change. I'll still keep a bypass. Maybe I'll do a mix instead, right? And then notes between notes, that I'm not sure about. Main, we have a spread. It's not going to, that's going to have to go. Poles and width are staying. Center is going to have to go, and gain will stay. Split, I'm not really sure I want to still be using split. I guess I can. And that's just for boosting and cutting, and scale I'll likely keep that as well. So yeah, scale, I do believe it's forward and back. That's what this is. So when you increase this knob, and it's on the back side, the first one in sequence will be wider. And if we twist it this way, it'll be the last one in sequence will be wider. That's how it works. And the reason that center and spread are going is that the EQs will be matched up directly to notes, or notes between notes, or scales. Pretty much something like Sweet Spots. However, there are going to be 10 sets of them. So it also looks like I don't have a preset manager. I'm really hoping to minimize the amount of time I spend on this, as it is quite conceptual. So what I'm going to do is start tearing things out here. I do believe this big section here is the comb EQ. This is the compressor section. And I already started this, I remember. I started this and I was just ripping things out. Okay, so right now, I'm just going to start pulling things. As far as controls go, we'll start with the controls. We'll pull all these controls. Start minimizing load time here. As well over here. Looks like the output stuff. Fullness. Okay, so this is the EQ system here. What are you? Okay, so this is the comb system here. And we have the, looks like that's all the comb system. Okay, so this is all comb system. This is all EQ. So I'm going to rip out the EQ now. Of course, everything's super messy because this is before I developed really a solid foundation for anchors and pylons. There's a little bit of acres and pylons, but they're not like laid out consistently. This looks like the stereo creator. So that can go, here's our input output. So we want to keep that. Again, as far as mid-side, I'm probably not going to incorporate mid-side for such a big tool. Or left, right. It'd be interesting, but this is really more of a mastering tool to kind of get more bang out of the buck. Okay, so that bandpass filter is the input filter. I'm going to get rid of that. We have a transitional section here. I'm not sure what this is. That just looks like a mid-side. It must be encoding. Mid-side encoding. Bandpass system. Okay, so we can go ahead and cut that. Now it looks like we're up onto the compressor section, and this is where the EQ starts here. What is this? This is where the comb starts here. Okay, so much of this can go. Looks like just another exciter. Okay, so that's the exciter system. Pull that here. And then this must be the compressor section. Comb section. Okay, so here we have a comb part. And what's this then? What are these notes? Middle tooth. Consider better scaling. Okay, so there's more comb. What is this comb then? Oh, there's more exciter too. Okay, so this must be the support system for the readout here. And again, there's a comb right there. Okay, so what is this comb then? This must be just called comb. It must actually in fact be something else. Does it still have its controls? What's inside these boxes? Okay, so it is a small comb. What is this? Maybe it's the EQ. It must be the EQ system. I'm going to reload this project and we'll see what that is. Pretty sure that's the EQ system. To check, make sure my mic is, oops, not what I wanted. Well, it kind of was what I wanted, but didn't actually exist because I moved things around. Okay, so this hasn't been saved yet. It'll still be a bunch of pieces. I'll quickly test my chat out. Yeah. Control K, clear that up. Of course, I'm missing a few modules, but that's just for the compressor system and measurement system, like just measuring things on screen. Okay, so what's connected to this small comb here? I'm 100% sure that these controls are just pass-throughs. So what are controls? See, there's only like one, it's three. Was it once upon a time like the start? But what's controlling it? So there's controls here. Or rather, there's sticky keys. I'm not even holding shift. Okay, so there's controls here, and then these coming in from there. So what's going into those? Oops. I mean, like, what's controlling it? So it shows controls are coming from here. This control is coming from there. This control is coming from... It's hard to really see these gray ones. Control is coming from... It looks like it's coming from the comb system. Yeah. It's coming from the comb system. So why then is this kind of sitting out on the side? It must be the support system. But there's only 3. This one has 7. And that's up there. Okay, so is there a reflection of this comb? Here? There is. What is that? Why is that there? Okay, I gotta look at the layout here. Equalizers, exciters, combs. Oh, there's 2. And this one only has 3? Start it up. Not sure it's gonna run. We just crash. It's missing a few components, but pretty sure this should work. Let's turn it on. Yeah, we can see something. Okay, so let's move it around. And there's only 3. Center, I'll move it up a little bit, and then we'll cut. Okay, so that's what it is. This one only has 3. This one's the lower one. Tighten it up a bit. Doesn't help. Widen it out then. Because I know the upper one responds a bit better. Like we can see it better. It's because the low end doesn't have much response. Gainer. See there. Yeah. Right away we can see it. That one has 7 and this one has 3. Okay, so that's what it is. It's the other half of the comb, the low end comb, the presence for an electric guitar. That's what it was supposed to be. And it was only 3 EQs here and there. That's what it was called, right? Presence, fullness. Okay. So let's close that off and we'll jump back into our current project. So this whole section can go, as I'm not going to be using it. Well, with 7 plus 3, it'd be 7, like 10. It'd just be easier to work on this than it would be to try integrate the older version. Okay, so we're moving this part here. This is the 3 EQs here. What does this structure say? Middle tooth snap. That's the same thing the other one said. And grab all this. Pull that out. And now, what is this? I'm not sure what this is now. Whatever it is, it looks like it's been removed. So it looks like the comb starts out. There's the exciter. Okay, so let's get rid of whatever this is. What is that? Reject. It's floating. That. Is it running? No, it's not running. Just slow. Okay, so another band reject up there. Those must have been for a different monitor. I have a auto gain system in there, which doesn't really work. We got left, right to mid side here. I'll get rid of that and that. So there goes the exciter. And now it's just the comb. Also want to get rid of the output stuff Here is the compressor. Pull all that. Sort of self-contained. So here's the comb controls. Looking all crazy. Here's the comb support. Here is the... Okay, so that's the support on top. For the visual, I'm not sure what this is. Exciter visual. Okay, and what is all this? More exciter stuff. And another hanging around chunk. Okay, so what is this? This looks like a oscillator system for the this up here, support system. Some more chunks floating around. Okay, output post GUI pylon. Okay, so here's post. I believe this is probably self-contained as well. No. Once upon a time, it probably had controls. Here's the segmenter. Limp pounder. So this is the output here. I'm just going to go ahead and drop that. We have the output 1 and 2. All the system is the auto gain, whatever this is. Display, okay. Also, this is a another visual support tool. It is the visual support tool for a compressor. So it shows the envelope sort of attack release stuff. With that, what does this say? Wants to float to meter update rate. Okay, so that was just giving the option of that. Oh, I want to keep this. All this. Do that. So should have just the comb filter now. I'm not sure what this is. Again, probably the automatic system there. There's a switch for the visual here, likely. ADJ twice. I'm not sure why. So let's get rid of those. Obviously, some sort of adjustment system. We have off and on here. We'll just delete that completely. Goes on parent. What is input? Okay. This must be the trigger. And this was built like this because it didn't sleep. At least I couldn't get it to sleep. I'm not sure why. So I'll keep this and this. We'll drop this. Because I'm sure it sleeps now. It must have just been a bug in an older version. Looks like we've got a low pass here. Going to the impulse. Pass, low pass. Not sure why. And off. Off and on. All right, so we'll go ahead and just get rid of that. Get rid of the layout. Rid of this. And this stays. Okay. Keep that for now. Things are a lot cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and save. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, actually. I need this mouse box. Well, I require the mouse box. What do these structure groups say? Open, change response, option, pre-stereo scroller, limited, link band limits, solo sections. That would be nice. X-mix, fade law. Okay. So a lot of these, they can just go. They were note sort of extra stuff. Okay. Gotta go get the mouse box. Here's an oversampler. Notes. Okay, as well, this stuff can go. I'm not sure what the layout is going to be here. You should be able to support everything. It's systems. Not sure if this still works. That's okay. So what's gonna look like? This has to go. Actually, this one has to go. Those have to go. What it's gonna look like is just one control controlling 10 octaves. Because more controls, more load time. And I'm not even sure how well 120 EQs are going to be handled by the system as far as the build goes. I've got to fix this. That can go. All these settings can go. So I'm just going to leave combs. And go ahead and just start pulling these. And option settings and about will also stay. Okay, another out of order here. Looks like I lost one or something. These aren't doing anything. I have to start pulling things. They're going to disappear. Start losing plugs. What did disappear? How come something disappeared? Is there nothing else supporting it? Yeah, something disappeared. It's like I lost one somewhere. So go ahead and just redo this. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 so far, a high of 4. And then I can pull this, I suppose. Where's this going? Okay, it's going to that. Okay, so that has to only appear for the first one, right? This value is null. So go ahead and pull exciters and equalizers, and the first two were also stereo creator and exciters again. What's holding this in place then? I lost those two. So stereo creator, exciter. Okay, so now combs is on top. Let's also pull compressor here. I'm not sure I really need this. It doesn't look like it's really going anywhere. Is my fan on? My fan isn't on. It's revving up. Okay. How many more options? There's only 3 and I have 4 outputs here. So let's drop 1, right? Okay. 3. Now things will hopefully work. I lost everything now. Okay. What is integer value? Reset value 1? 0? No, that doesn't matter. Why is it set to 4? Animation position. Float mouse down. 0. Okay. Right. So when I click it, it's sending 0. Yeah. Let's move these in. Is my grid on? My grid doesn't look like it's on. Okay. So B initial value 1. Can I just set them from here? No. 2 and 3. Okay. So now it should be a little more responsive. Yeah. Not sure what settings it's supposed to be for. This does nothing right now. Back to combs. Okay, so I do need to measure my view. Get rid of these extra controls. They aren't actually doing anything. They actually are doing stuff because these are, it's a mid-side control. Right? Oh. That's why there's 2 layers. So essentially, I only need 1 layer. Plus, a mid-side system would be very greedy. This whole half here can go As far as controls, in out can go. Actually, I'll keep in and out, but not in this integration. Of course, it's a mid-side system. This thing would just be way too greedy if it had a mid-side system or LR system. Like it wouldn't be able to load it all. I have to minimize things. So a whole block of this is going to go. Wherever I'm going to save now. That was fast. Okay. And then I'm going to say... be version 2. And then I'm going to start pulling things. Some more of the important stuff-ish. Okay. In and out. Can go over here. Then we pull the whole as a gain. Okay, so that's part of that. Reading. I don't really need it. Just for like controlling this stuff. Right? I gotta strip this down. I'll do a lot of stripping. Okay. So I'm just gonna start pulling here, and I'm gonna pull the encoder. This stuff. Combs. I think I'm gonna lose my controls if I pull that. Specifically that one. Wrong one. Okay, so let's plug this back in. Then yeah. Hopefully it still works, right? Yeah, okay. Switch. So this can go. This has to be eliminated. As all the controls can just kind of sit out. And this has to turn into a mix. Okay. So imagine it goes left and then right. What is it here? Okay, so that's the 7 themselves. So this stuff must just be controls. Let's got some multipliers here. By scale, width, snap, center, spread. So center can go spread. These are the older versions of the band shelf. Those have to be replaced. I also have to strip this stuff down. Do I really want big controls like that? We'll stick with big controls for now. Okay, what's this floating around here? Okay, so that's in here. And I guess I can start tightening things up. Where did out go? So remember I kept it out. Okay. I'm gonna put it beside in before I lose it. Like so. Just want to check my mic. My mic's fine. Okay. So I got to pull a whole section here. Well, there's a left and right channel. Like this isn't supporting both left and right. And just because, I'm not controlling them individually, I actually have to keep all of this, right? And this is probably going to have to be containerized because, yeah, I need 10 of these. And I need to add 2 more on the side. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I need to add 5 more. I'm going to change the scaling. Metal tooth snap. Above, below. And in here, everything is changed by, yeah, they're all in octaves. So it's not actually measured in hertz, which is kind of smart, I guess, but I don't know how that's going to help me with scales. Mm. I almost feel like I have to build two of them. One of them based on whole notes, and then and one of them based on harmonics and partials, and then another one based on scales. But I don't want to, and I'm not sure where things meet in the middle. So I can have one based on harmonics and one based on partials and one based on scales. They have readout systems, right? Just want to look at the readout systems. I'm not sure if I still have them. Still have it loaded. Let's try this. It's going to probably take a second to find. It's going to say it can't find it. Looking for it. It's going to take a little while to load anyway. Okay, so if I switch to scales, then it's going to just hop over. I can drive the EQs by using list. Drive the EQs by using listed text. Right? And then each location will have a choice. The only problem is that a lot of them don't have, like in the readouts, they don't have an equal amount. Here's the lists here. No, it's just the right click, PM note names, harmonic frequencies. Okay. And then I have inharmonic scale note names. Why do they say note names? Is that really? Yeah, it is. So yeah, they're like, it's inconsistent. And with inconsistency, there is, with inconsistency, it's not going to address all of the EQs. That's why there'll be like 7 notes, right? I mean, all the whole scales have 7 notes, but then not scale notes only have what's left 5, right? 5. Yeah, 5. And then that leaves, 7 to 6. That leaves 5 EQs not being addressed. And it changes the spread. That's why it's almost easier to make a completely different plugin. It must be easier to make individual plugins for each one. There's even notes between not notes. There's even notes between not scale. It's crazy. I'd almost just grab sweet spots and just make it like a freestanding parametric. But I want to be able to like comb things. The only way to really do it with, say, 12 is have it set up so I have to make a whole bunch of presets that turn on and off the different positions to match the notes. But I believe it would be a lot easier to just copy this over and drive them. Like I said, it doesn't address all of the EQs. Well, one thing at a time, I suppose. I'm going to work on this idea first, which means I have to add, did I lose my outs? Those are just controls, okay. And these are anchors or whatever. Terrible for how messy everything is. So we need to add 5 more. And I gotta change the scaling. Not really though. All I have to do is really pick their octave, right? So the pitch will kind of never change. I'll just need a spreader kind of thing. So like 0833. I guess like moving back and forth was kind of a different ball game. That's what kind of made them stick to things. Whereas now they're just kind of set in stone. And the only controls you get are to move them up and down. Would it be easier just to rebuild from scratch? Probably not. Spread's not a thing. Center's not a thing. Snap is. Scale is. Width is. It's another orphaned module. Well, I guess I can start cleaning things up here. These can go. Spread can go. I'm going to pull spread. And spread up here. Pull spread control. So this whole chunk must be right. Value coming from here though. So that's just the anchor. Let's go ahead and pull spread. Width. Okay, so now we'll pull center. I didn't pull spread from here. Okay, so now we'll pull center. Center snap. So center snap is also going to have to go, I think. That's going to have to go to a different location. Perhaps I'll keep center for now. I'll just pull the control. Gain stays, snap stays, scale, width. Everything else stays. Just the control for center goes. I have to sort of change the way center works. Perhaps it is easier just to build from scratch. I mean, what is it really? And I got to do a bunch of bridging. The only thing really worth keeping is the controls. And even those have to be redone. Guess I'll save as again. I'm going to start pulling everything. So everything here can just go. So I can figure this out properly, sort of thing. Do we have these scalars, though? Scale by. So it comes from the bottom. Scale. 0 to 10, it looks like. Dota's gonna run now. I can give it a shot, though. Take a look at what's left, sort of thing. It'll be the exact same thing anyway. Impulse out, impulse in. The only thing I can't do now is center might be buggered. Let's try it. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not getting anything now. Because the response system's broken. I'm really triggering it. It's so super messy. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to rebuild the scaler, I guess. As well, I can change octave to hertz, right? Like, how am I gonna handle width? If I am in a lower or higher area. Octaves to hertz. So, for instance, I got to go hertz to octaves, then back to octaves to hertz. And things will have to be measured in percentages. As far as width, really now. Right. Wait on the numbers. Just because the controls have to be recycled as they go through the 10 different octaves. Okay, so let's just pull everything. Start stripping things down completely. I mean, it was good to get an understanding of what everything was. Here is the control system. Okay, so I'm just going to delete a lot of this as well. Ins and the outs can come here. Tighten things up here. Let's get rid of this master pylon here. And get rid of the view. So I'm not going to be able to see anything for a little while. Here's the response anchor. Not really doing anything. So we'll get rid of that too. Just strip everything right down here. I'm just going to keep the controls, basic controls here. Then here, I got to repylon and anchor and everything anyway. Oops. So there is no off snap. Move it high. Center isn't a control anymore. Scale by. It's a list. Things are going to be a little tricky in game. Okay. So there's the leftover controls here. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to be laid out. Let's look at them. And it looks like they are visible because controls on parent is a default. This is a mix now. So also, what I should probably do is kind of just containerize everything we're going to use and then delete everything else around so that I don't have any orphaned modules. I really need to keep an oversampler, I guess so. This about screen can be cleaned up. This is usually for hiding the layout. This polyphony control sits in the background. Okay, so this sub title can go. And most box can stay. That's the trigger for the response system. In and out, those aren't going to be anything because they're probably going to get deleted. I'll just delete them now. Okay, and then I'm going to container, if I control A, I'm going to containerize any orphaned modules as well. Okay, so I'm just going to select from here to here. Containerize. And this is called ComEQ. ComPeak, maybe? ComPeaks. A little catchy. Okay, and then I'm just going to select all. I'm going to unselect this and I'm going to delete. So anything else that wasn't in existence is now gone. And I'm going to head to the top here and unwrap this. Containerize, ComPeaks. Okay. And then I don't know what this is. It's like a test specimen. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to save that. Right, so I should close this other one that's running. Again, I'm still not sure how I'm supposed to use those. Perhaps now that I'm starting from scratch, I'll be able to figure out a way to integrate them. So here's Comb Peaks. Let's move around here if I can. Doesn't want to let me. What's this? Okay, it's an iPod. All right, so I'm going to build inside of a container, I suppose. And we'll call this PQQ. What did I call it? Comb Peak? Comb Peaks? Okay, so Comb Peaks, I guess. Edit here. I should have versions 2, yes. And these are peak shelf, band shelf, band shelf. Okay. So now I got to build a bridge for these. Of course, they're going to be in serial, right? Okay. Figuring out how this is going to work. So I can't do the math in here. I'll just build a bridge. Gonna have to build a couple bridges here. So let's go boom. Should I do them in order or? Okay. All the poles are always going to be the same. They kind of have to be. This isn't serial again. Poles again. Okay, so poles can come last, I guess. I'm not sure how I'm going to name this naming convention. There's 12, so let's go ahead and just copy these 2, and then we got 4. And then we'll copy those 4 and get 8, and then 4 more is 12, right? Okay. I think I messed that up by not connecting crossovers here. Could save myself a few clicks, but that's fine. Okay, so here's 12. I'm going to move down through them. But since that it's so greedy, I could just keep a reference open. I'm not sure how I'm going to name these. Maybe I just won't name them. Seems like the best idea. Okay, so let's get the polls. Because I'm trying to maintain time, right? Polls are last, and those never change. At least not in this version. What exactly is the scaling? How does that work? And then an output mod. Oops. I guess I do kind of have the mock-up still, right? Everything's kind of all over the place, I think, still. Sent to back. Yeah. All these controls all loosely thrown all over. I almost want more than 30 of a range. I almost want it to be like 150 on the low side, which is crazy. But the idea is to completely cut, right? And I'm going to have to rebalance the control. Or I could just make it 150 both sides, which is insanity. I think I'm going to 150 on both sides. Game. Width is still a thing. Let's go high, mid, low. Also got to figure out how I'm going to lay these out. Only one set, so yeah. So here's the mix knob. Scale, this comes after. Bias with that. And then this, I guess, like this. Width. And poles. Maybe this up here beside the mix knob. These are obviously going to be underneath here, though. I'd much prefer them to be, but it doesn't look like I have the space. Over. And it looks like my boxes are all over the place. That's nice. I'm going to have to bring in some rectangles. Yeah, it's not going to fit. Okay, so... And actually, these are supposed to be beside each other, right? So that will fit. All over the place. Okay, so let's move things up and over now. All right. So considering how this is supposed to work, perhaps instead of keeping them in serial, just undo everything I just did. Instead of keeping them in serial, I'll do them individually. So then perhaps I can wire things differently as far as getting, I mean, polls will still be its own individual thing. However, each one will kind of have its own designation, and then I can cut some off depending on how many are needed. I mean, it's a little extra in the background. However, it will have its advantages for getting, snap to scale and stuff. So I also do need to wire them out. Manually, then I got to kill all the wires. So let's just pull everything again, just so I don't miss one, and then I have, one little chunk in serial. Okay. So back to mindless patching. Perhaps since they're done, I can copy them through now. And then as well, this is a pretty important bridge. I'm not too sure about the actual audio signal. However, the controls kind of are going to get their own bridge. So that's 4, 8, 12. And back to my dispatching. Because, I mean, things must be consistent across. For things that are nodes between nodes. And not in scale nodes between nodes. It's a lot of nitpicking, but it's interesting to say the least. It'll probably develop some interesting sounds because they'll be inorganic, a half inorganic, scale-based sounds. The point is really to get the most of organic harmonics. Even thicken harmonics, just generate noise and have thicken harmonics or distortion. Run things through distortion, and it creates all these partials, and then we can kind of comb them out. And we get super thick harmonics. All right, so just done here. It's a lot to conceptual of it. And it's kind of going to be interesting how it's going to work out. Hopefully it's interesting and not super headache as far as changing the systems. As far as like individual controls, I'm not sure that I can handle that. I'm not even sure if I can handle 120. I might just end up making one and then, copying it for 12 times. Just choosing an octave sort of on each individual version. for each individual instance of the plugin, because asking for 120 EQs is a lot to ask for. So let's get these out now. All individual rights. I mean, they don't have to be individual. If they don't need to be, then I'll combine them later. For now, I feel they might be required to be individual. All right, so now comes with the fun with math. So things around here so I can hide all these patches. Corner. Unselect this and move this around. They overlap, and then I don't have to see them. The computer doesn't have to load them. It's easier on the machine. All right, is there any internal parameters? No way. Okay, good. Okay, got this massive bridge here. Right. So now comes the math. Let's start with gain, I suppose. Gain goes through the scalar. No, I don't want to start with the hardest one. And actually width goes through the scalar. And low, mid, high goes through the gain. Yeah, low, mid, high goes through the gain. It's like a scalar. Width is a scalar. Gain is low, mid, high. And there's 12, so there's going to be one off the mid. They interact with each other, so 12 divided by 3 is 4, right? Let's put this over here. Let's get it reflecting what this looks like. Poles should be first. I'm just about out of time. Still got some concept happening. So what's the one I need to worry about? I think really is this, the pitch, right? Pitch and hertz. Well, frequency. So how this is going to work, I'm obviously going to need a fixed value. This fixed value will be, say, 1. Actually, we'll make it 5, right? That'll be middle A. I'm not sure what this is. I think that's just an out. What is that last one? I don't know what that is. I think that's just the spare, right? Well, it didn't change the name of spare. What is this? Whatever. We'll call it spare, I guess. Right? Okay. So this is 5. And then it gets divided 5 times, or 12 times. And each one will go to a different designation. However, it gets a different designation, but it gets turned into volts or volt. Octave to hertz, right? Let's go octave to hertz. And then, yeah. So 5, each step, right? Well, whole 1 divided by 12 is 8.3s. So that's where it steps. So it starts at 5 and then it steps through them. So plus that. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's supposed to be the next one. We'll do it math-wise. We'll let it do its real math, I suppose. Be the best idea. Right? So this is 5, but it should actually be 1. And then we'll have another one which bumps it up to 5. So this is 5 here. And 1 gets divided 12 times. So I need divide 12 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Let's get them lined up some sort of way. Yeah, let's actually get rid of all these. We'll keep 1. We'll plug them into here first. And this is octave 2 hertz. Yes. Okay. Then I really want a test specimen, but I only have one channel anyway, so I could probably just use a test specimen. Got all these different signals. It's gonna make things a little difficult. Anyway, so we're gonna. Where did my other divide go? I want to copy the whole thing. Paste the whole thing. So 2, 3, 4. They're too much all over the place. I'm gonna have to do it manually because I don't feel like fighting with this. I can containerize them. But no, I'm not going to containerize them yet. I like to keep things sort of reformed. Let's line them up though. I know it's pickiness, but it really helps later when things are neater. Okay. So let's keep dropping them. So that's 2. Let's copy by 2. See, maybe it should be multiplying, right? Because if you divide by 0, computer fails. To multiply. Like 0.01, right? 12. How do we multiply by like that? 1 divided by 12. Okay, so we go say 1 times 0.8333 equals 333. There'll never be a 0. I don't think so. So perhaps divide was right. Okay. Yeah, there should never be a 0. These are static. There's no 0 octave. Well, there might be, but I'm not going to be including it. Oops. Get rid of these. Get rid of that. Zoom in here and tighten it up. Again. 4 and 8. Can I do this by minimizing? Like, is there a way to minimize how many modules are here? I mean, I could get rid of the divides and then just plug 1 in, right? Or it would be a combiner. As long as I know the numbers. As well, number 12 doesn't really exist. But 0 does. Because if I have a standalone number, I gotta add to it. can add to it in post. Float won't let me add though. I gotta rewire all this and to make these into volts, I think. Really be the best idea to keep those volts. Really though, eh? Okay, so back to this step. And let's move this over. And we'll just drop this bridge. And this bridge. And then I gotta do something here to make a volt. I suppose I could just have a dummy. So let's go container. IO. And like that, right? 2, 3, 4. Oops. Okay, and then the first one is called signal. Second one is pitch hertz. And then the second one is called width hertz. And finally gain dB. Okay. So from there, I can just keep dummying down. Signal, pitch, width, gain. I can get rid of these first 4. Those are being held in place. Okay. Just keep going. Do this 12 times. And then reconnect it. Signal hertz. Gain. Pitch. Gain. 10. That's 4. Gain. It's 5. Oh, that's 6. 7. 8. 9. All right, so I lost track of where I was. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, and then also poles, which can't be changed to volts. Now I gotta connect them. Let's move this back here so I can see what I'm doing. Oops. It's fine, I'll do poles after. Looks like I messed up somewhere. No, it's just my eyeballs. Okay, and then pulls. Okay, everything's wired in now. I can drop the export, the holding placeholder, whatever it's called, whatever it wants to be called. Then we shall drop these down, get them out of the way, rather more in line. IO mod, and we'll start plugging things out. Okay. So lay that over top of itself. Now, I have those all lined up. It's a little confusing to look at now because they're all the same thing. However, it's fine. How can I minimize modules now? So obviously, I can't here. I got 1 plus 5. I can't do that here, though. Because, yeah. But it requires it to be pushed here. However, can I get rid of divide? What happens here? All right, plus, oops, what's that? We end up with like a 9, 6. And that's pretty much almost consistent all the way across. We want to push everything forward. We can't go back. Like, we can't go negative frequency. We can only go positive. So if we're going to do anything, we're going to push ahead. So 0 counts, but 1 doesn't. Okay, so is a fixed value less than a divide? Because I can completely eliminate the 1. That's all there really is. That's all I can completely eliminate 1. I kind of still need a blank container for adding. No, I don't think I can get rid of the 1 because I still got to add things together. Almost which over is like sort of an array. I just plug it into one divide and it spits out, divide by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. Like a number splitter or something. Logic's not going to help. The idea is minimal modules. Well, I still have to add together, so divide's not going to work. It's going to have to be a fixed value. So fixed value plus 5 to here. All right, so it's going to be a fixed value across the whole thing. I don't know why this still says, okay, so that's the output here. 1. In fact, though it's not going to be 1, it's going to be 0, 3, 3, right? 0 exists though, so it's going to be 0. And then going forward, it's going to be, let's line these up. A little bulky. Tighten it, I can. Okay. That's good. I'm sure that's as good as it's going to get. I do need a connection though. So it's going to be requiring another one, right? This is just the adder. Like that. And then like this. But then I lose 1. But that's fine. I need 1. I got the drive here. Fixed values might be a bit, but there's the spitter, right? Because fixed values is one module and it can spit out multiple values. So even still, there's going to be 2 fixed values. And then here's the adder. Okay. So global fixed values, which goes from 0 to 10. Then we have the internal fixed values, which is just the adder. So we're going to call this add. Okay. Call it add. All right. So we minimized modules as far as fixed values. We still have to have a bunch of adders, but I think they disappear. They don't count. And I'll put these together, and then I'll create a I'll create a global adder. So I'll start lining these up first. Oops. Well, that's not good. They are quite bulky. So 5, and maybe just 1 more, and I can just duplicate that. I don't know why I didn't start duplicating right away. In fact, to reduce the amount of modules, I'm just going to stack this up here. That's in the way. Of course, that's in the way. Okay, 75. I can have, in fact, to reduce modules, I can also have a global like this. Right? Okay, so 1, 2, oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so they're all there. This is also going global. So I'm just going to cut that. Paste that. And the adders can all just go into a container. More containers. Okay, now we got to do some more mindless patching, as usual. And we'll just keep them in order. The name of the game is to reduce modules. And I believe empties don't count. Because thinking about it, I could just add them on the outside, right? And I'm not going to spend any time numbering these as much as I want. Might make things a little confusing. Okay, out as well. Let's make that a volts too. It doesn't really need to be. Float. I want to keep everything volts. Of course, that's named add as well. This is for frequency, right? Okay. And then I'm gonna start from the top. I could work backwards, but it'll just make things a little confusing. I'm actually kind of spent for time, so I gotta drink coffee fast. Get wired before my time runs out, but I can't have any more coffee. Lost count. That way I lost count, my eyeballs can't follow along. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, continuing down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Where did I go wrong? How come there's one extra? Miss one? So just an extra one. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, it's not one extra, but I'm still extra one. Okay, so maybe I did add an extra one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What? Must have doubled one, right? They all look pretty coordinated. Looks like this one's missing. And pull these. Can I change my color? No, color filter. I'm having a hard time seeing these gray ones. I am a little colorblind. Where's my search? Why is my computer asleep? Okay. Windows, adjust color filters on. I think I have ditch whatever that is, and Control Alt C. Oops, not Control Windows C. Windows C? It is Windows C. Okay, so that didn't help. Settings, color. Maybe it's off. Yeah, no, it's okay. Let's try this one. There, that's crazy good. I mean, that probably looks like crap for the rest of the stream. See, that's the one I know usually. But I can actually see using that one. So I'm just going to keep that on. And it looks like it's actually connected. Anyway, that one isn't. So and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay. Now I gotta pull something somewhere. What's holding it in place, right? The ads. Okay. So I have these extra containers here, but I'm pretty sure they get truncated, which means they just disappear when build happens. I almost don't want to risk it, so I'm just going to pull them after building them, right? In order to do that, we just go and containerize them. I should actually save. Go save as, this is 3. I don't have any Git set up, so I can't do any version control. So I'm just doing it the old-fashioned way. Probably just delete the other ones and keep this one, as I've learned my lesson for keeping a million files. However, I really gotta get happening. So I'll probably do that off stream. And then up here, I'm not gonna tighten those up. It's just a waste of time. Let's just line them up here. Okay. So now we have our adder, right? And then we have a global and an individual. This is for pitch. Call this pitch bridge. Frequency bridge. BRI, DG. And this is input octave, output hertz. Better be hertz. Octaves to hertz, right on. Yeah, because I had to fight with the what do you call it? To fight with the floats. I'm just wondering, like, I'm trying to minimize modules. What if I have a list and then I spread out the list? Because then it would make only one pin, right? Oh, but then I'd have like a million modules for spreading out the list. So I'm just going to have a big bridge. I don't really want, but that's fine. It's better than having slow loading time. Okay, so this is 1 or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Because 0 exists. Okay, so I'm just gonna get these in. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. And the values, of course, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. So yeah, those are in. I'm not gonna pull the bridge, the support bridge. Send it back. One I require is 5. Just thinking, like, what happens? There's 11. 0 exists. So 0 is just 0. What does the system see 0 as? 0? 0 hertz? that it shouldn't exist, really. But I mean, I can't offset things and we have 11. It'll just have to be the first position is nothing. Okay. So then from there, just wondering if I should make another support container. I might as well. We're likely gonna need it. Am I really though? To reduce dot modules even more, I could keep all the fixed values on one fixed value. I gotta have some point where I gotta be like, I need this to be productive. If I have just one, it's just gonna be annoying. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Two more. 12. Okay. And it's the first one 0. First one 0. And after that, we're on to 0, 8, 0, 3, 3, 3. How many do I want? So that's 2 positions here. 2 positions. Oh, I still have numbers. Yes, okay. Just my numlock. I think I might accidentally hit it. Okay, so 2, 4, and 6. Okay, so 6 is fine. That's lots. 0, 8. Actually, we'll just do math here. 1 divided by 12. Copy that plus again. It's 1, 6. 0.1. Right, 1, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Again, just copy that. I can't carry that number, right? Because if I carry that number, it's going to bump itself all the way up to 5. Hmm. 9 is a funny remainder, or funny continue. It says hold 9, so again, 3s. 0.3333. How come there's a 2 at the end? Does it just not? That's it. Does it not continue? What is my? So it's scientific here. 1 divided by 12, right? And it gives us this big astronomical number. 1 divided by 12 equals copy plus that. Again. No, it's just a continuance. Okay, so 0.3. Oops. Bugger. Let's go back to standard. Well, copy plus that. Boom, boom, boom. That's where we are. 0.123456. Again, 4167. So 0.41. That's second position. Fourth, fifth, sixth. 49. Again, 0.499999. And again, 583. 583. 6. One more. And a bunch of 6s. 0.667. 749. Again, we have the 9 position. 0.74. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0.83s. Okay, so this is where things get a little weird, right? 916. No, we're still good. And 6s, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. The next one is where it gets weird with the 0.9, but we're going to override that and jump right to the next whole number. Because 0 counts. And 0 will be the next whole number besides the 0. And those are just the names. So now I got to copy them all over. I mean, these 9s kind of bug me. Should I just push it into the next one, right? because I think it's supposed to be. If we divide by a certain amount, we end up with, whole numbers. For example, if we take a 1 and chop it in half, we do get a 5. Right? And that's here. So yeah, I think this is a quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Because they are in fact quarters and they are in fact whole numbers. Well, parts of whole numbers. Fractions of whole numbers. And that looks like it makes a little more sense to me. We don't have to worry about those weird nines carrying nines. And then our rounding up on each segment is fine for that last number. Makes more sense. Okay, so let's push this again to the back. We got our wonky numbers happening. Now we add them together. We have 5 everywhere. Right. Well, first let's bridge. Let's get things bridged in. Do I need a pylon? I think I need a pylon before. Because I'm going to need a complete bridge. That's a massive bridge, right? Because it's going to need a bridge for each one of these. Crazy. Because I have 10 of them. Which is going to be a flow control, right? 1 to many. There's 10. Flow control 1. This is just the controls. Patch memories. That's right, I'm going to need 120 patch memories. Oh, I don't think this is going to work. It's just too many. 120 patch memories? Not really, though, because other other things load more. I mean, if I think about sweet spots, each control was like 5. But then again, yeah, that's like 5. I mean, I can give it a shot. Prototyping for now, let's just do 1, and then I can switch between the octaves with this, and we'll get it working. We'll see how things behave. So for now, no worries about bridges. Let's get all the pitches in. And then I can containerize this and then make the fixed values look more global. Sort of a prototype. I know I should probably do more planning. However, this is the planning, really. It's prototyping. Not spending too much time worrying about small things. Small things come later, like really defining the small things. Okay. So those are in. I'm gonna, what else do I need? Width. Width as a scalar. Width, scale, gain. Why is gain here? What does this look like again? Gain is in the middle between poles and width. Low, mid, high are out of order. They are in the middle-ish. Okay, so let's move this over, coffee. Poles are first, width is last. Gain in the middle. These guys in the middle here-ish. Middle here-ish. Looking down-ish. Yeah. Okay. I also don't have right clicks reset either. So gain is in, sort of. Or not gain, frequency. I do need gain for testing anything. Gain. So what did I do for scaling? Let's go back to Chroma Q1. Hopefully that opens in a new window. It does. So what exactly happens for scaling? I don't want that window. Center snap. Looks like no, here's scale. Okay. Let's go. Scaling is multiplied by 1, right? So the image or the by, that's divided by what? Okay, so by 16. 7, 8, 9, 10. Why is it? I think that's because of its position or something. Yeah, I think that's because of its position. It sort of moves. But why by 16? The middle one should be balanced. What is with sticky keys? I was only holding shift for a couple seconds. Yeah, okay, so this one's balanced. 13. And what is this number? A multiplier? All right. Scale. What is scale? Scale is the whole number, right? Scale. 0 to 10. In fact, 0 to 10. And by is a list entry, I see. And as each one goes along, the balance was 13 because it's always by 2. Because you can't scale by 1. It's actually by 4. It starts at 4, which is pretty big. Okay, so if I have 10 or 12, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's scale 1 by 1 is really 4. What do I want them? I think this was just an arbitrary decision. Why are they all positive? Like, how does that work? Because the middle one's always balanced? Yeah, because the middle one's always balanced, right? Like, if it's right in the middle, it doesn't matter which way you scale. If you're increasing this side, shrinking that side, the middle one's always going to kind of be the same. Whereas if it's the opposite, right? But now that there's 12, there's 2 6s, so there has to be a constant change. Can you see my hands? These hands. Keyboard's kind of low. Or my screen is low. Just my head hanging out. I mean, I could sit up, but I don't want to. I guess I do. Ugh. Okay, so that's what scaling does. Now, I used a list for that. Do I want to use an integer now instead? Why did I choose a list? Lists really only real advantage is... Okay, I know why I chose a list. List's advantage is that I can change text into integers, right? So say I have this list readout, and then it can change its values. So if I was to choose integer, it wouldn't be possible to have different kinds of values. So now the other question is what's on the scale? By 4 is my starting point? By 2? Let's go by 2. Okay, so let's go with the scalar because we want width. We want to play with the width a bit. And in order to get width, we have to use the scalar. And then after that, it's the gain, poles, given, mid, low, high. That's a gain. Mid, low, high is a gainer. think I'm pretty much spent for time here. I mean, I can push just to get a prototype running. What I really need, though, is gain to see it in action. And I also don't have a demonstration piece. Also don't have a way to move it as far as into, because I gotta shift all this off in order to get from this to notes between notes, right? And of course, that'll jump into sort of the next octave. But more forward, more ahead, right? More up than down, because we can't go past 0 Hz. So if it's going to be notes between notes, it's going to be half a 033, and it's going to be pushing everything forward. Okay, so I looked at the scaler. Let's do the scaler. And in order to do the scaler, we have a switch to many. Again, we're going to need a global here. It's going to be a super huge bridge. And I could have a local values. It really feels like it's not plausible. I might just have to do a couple forks and see which one is more efficient. I mean, it would take forever to build a big bridge, though. Like with these internally for each piece, or globally plugging in as a bridge. I mean, I guess I could copy them in manually and then, copy them in and then they automatically have their bridge, but it might be a messy bridge. And it would really save me from patching. These are kind of what the bridge is really about. Okay, so width by and scale. It's not even responding. Width by and scale. So I'm just going to do a quick prototype. There's not much I can do at this point. I do have to call it and get back into mixing. So we're going to grab middle A. It's going to connect everything here to middle A. Actually, doesn't have to be. Just for the prototype, I can make it any octave. And then I don't even have to plug in an octave. I could just plug in this guy. There's a knob. Not that kind of knob. Slider. Switch to knob. Okay. And then I can just plug this in everywhere. And it's already 0 to 10. So then I can move my octave around, right? I won't get any spread or anything, any width. Not even sure what default width is. Let's see. Nothing. There's like 1,000. That's really big though. Well, I can also use the same values for width, couldn't I? And its pitch location will be its width. It's weird. Let's try it. Say we got 80 hertz, it's going to be 80 hertz width. I kind of don't like that idea. I'd much rather bring in another slider. I think I killed a pitch. Okay. Pitch. No, I didn't. Okay. And I'll make a bridge just because. Should I just make it add again? Frequency bridge. Okay, let's get rid of this. We'll call it with the bridge. because the width is going to have to change if I'm going to prototype. Otherwise, it'll just be too clunky. Be really thin in high spots and too thick and low. Okay, looks like poles also never got connected. Okay, so this is the octave. This will never change. However, I do want it to be global, so we're not using too many modules. In fact, there is a demonstration of notes. So let's take a look at that. And that's in the detuner tuner. It shows what the fine tuner uses. In fact, it is whole numbers like that. I could have just used that bridge. Anyway, I didn't. So that. I know that it's there now. Plus my numbers are a bit longer, I think. Okay, so this is octave. And need a width now. Do I have a way to do offsets? After all this, I'd like to at least hear what it's going to sound like. And maybe it might not even be worth it, right? Okay, so this is width. And then we'll add a button. Slider. It's the button toggle, right? Not that big of a button. Let's go small button, toggle. Okay, we'll call this inharmonic. Inharmonic. And then we'll get rid of the readout. Then what does this do? This pushes everything 0.5 here. So we have many to 1. Our first value is 0. And our next value is half of 0.833. Okay, so we'll get another fixed value. This is just for temporary sake. And we'll go 1 divided by 24. That's our number. 0.4. Oops. 4 and a bunch of 6s. Up here. And that, we don't need that many. 2, 4, 5, 6. So this is our offsetter. This pushes us into inharmonic notes. And this goes here. Everywhere. And then we can get an idea of what cutting in harmonics sounds like. Ripping out all the partials, which is going to be interesting, which is one of the main reasons I'm building it. Be nice if we can get all 10 octaves, however, that's not going to be doable. Okay. Then in order to switch this on and off, I need a converter. And volts to list. So we'll figure out where it is exactly once it's built. What is this of? Width of 10. Okay, so this needs to be a bit bigger. We're going to go with thousands and minimum 10. Minimum 1. 0.1 sounds better. Could even go like 0.1. Let's go with 0.1. Super sliver. Just because we're in like that stage, right? So, okay. The default of 10. The default of 5. And it's default of off. Also now I need the gain. I also have no signal. That's fun. Okay, so let's grab this. This is going to be for gain. Actually, we don't need to bugger. because this is directly through. Don't really need this bridge. There's no real way to get it. Right, I'm gonna save right quick. Let's just save over. Didn't do any subtracting, just did a adding. Oh, no, that's the one. Okay. Which would be faster, removing all these or just reconnecting? Probably reconnecting, right? It's a little more confusing. Okay, so wait. It's moving in a bit, and of course it reset itself to 10. And gain's going to be the same way. It doesn't need to be changed to anything. The only reason I'm changing over hertz or octave to hertz is that it's just easier to do math for hertz by octaves than it is to calculate all the hertz, because that would just be a nightmare. It's like every possible value. With coming from octave, it's just one big generic value. Okay. So we have width, we want gain. Gain. Then I gotta actually fix this to 1000, 0.1. Then let's do some hitting here. This is, we'll go negative 150. 2 plus 150. We'll see really how that stands up. If I were to put them in serial, I wouldn't have to do a bunch of routing for the signal, such as not the case. Okay, so they're all connected. Okay. And this is gain of negative 150 to plus 150. It's going to be a little brutal to deal with. I should almost use the big knob, but nah. And what kind of response is it? Up and down, left and right? Is it rotary? It's rotary. Okay, just got to remember that. Okay, poles? I'm not sure. Let's just use list for that. I'm not going to fight with the knob. I'm trying to get my poles right. This is poles. Let's start default of 6. Gain of 0 with octave 5. Signal now. Everything is patched in. It's probably not lined up. It's not lined up at the thing. So I'll leave it mono. It's going to be monero, but like I said, this is a test specimen. It doesn't really matter which order I go in here as long as I get them all in. Okay, so it looks like they're all in the right spots. Let's get them out now. And same thing, it doesn't matter which order they're in as long as they all get out. Faster to grab from this side because it snaps into place. Okay. All right. It's done. It's ready for testing as far as I know. The panel has to be lined up though. So let's go like this and like that. And inharmonic over here maybe with these other controls don't do anything. They're just decorations. Okay. Let's save and then we're gonna build. So file export VST. This is called Home Peaks. Home Peaks. And JWCP. Lecture name, number of presets, doesn't matter. Mono use, okay. Okay. Save file, yes. Guess a G. Okay, and then we jump into FL Studio. And I probably have to turn on my output here. I'm gonna do a quick reread. And I'm not sure what I really want to, comb filter. I don't have any scaling, so everything's just gonna be like ka-chug, ka-chug. There's not gonna be any scaling, because whereas like normal harmonics, they got rid of the slope, right? The fundamental's higher. Okay, so there's comb peaks. Let's make sure it loads before doing any commitments here. Okay, it does load, but it's not sure why it's like that. Are we missing any controls? The background must be way down. Okay, so we're missing poles. We can tidy it up a little bit. And then up here. That doesn't need to go over there. Let's bring it back. Of course I did. Okay, and then actually bring this forward a bit. Doesn't matter. Bring this down. That's what we really want. There. Up. Rebuild. Make sure it's unloaded. Exports. Okay. Yes. Why is width set to 1000? Okay, bring it again. It's like 10. Gain 0, octave 5, and harmonica off. Let's start with like an FM instrument and then kind of mess with it. So FM. What happened to Hogan? So I thought this was FM. Anyway, you got a randomize function, right? Isn't there? Or is it that just autogun? Okay, it must be just autogun. So let's go to autogun. Actually, we have stuff here. Let's look. We have a synth lead here. What percussion is in here? Got a bass. Let's should go bare generic saw bass, right? No. There's no leads. Atmospheric ancient discovery. Autogun. Granular subtractive. So where's autogun now? There's autogun additive. Okay, autogun. So how does this work again? We want info comments. That's the organ. Is it magic dust? Question mark? Enter preset number? Processing quality. How do I get the preset number? I thought. So magic dust is Maximus sound goodizer. Surprised they're surprised they managed to fit that case. So there's the preset. And then we go back to autogun. Track to gun, rather. And we can punch in the preset somewhere. Here. Copy preset, random preset, enter preset number. There. The same thing. Does it still have magic dust though? I think it does somewhere. No, it doesn't. So autogun has a built-in Maximus. Okay. So let's bring in something. Reverb, delay, turn it down a little bit too. And I'm gonna turn it down on stream and drop this just so it's not so loud because you probably hear it twice, right? Okay, so now let's see what this calm EQ sounds like here. Hey, it's boosting somewhere. Why is it boosting? Well, because it's mono, right? But it shouldn't matter. It should be mono use okay. Sound effect. How do I make it do that? Do I seriously have to go in and cut it myself? Like, are they just compiling them all? I think it's just compiling them all, so it's like 6 signals. That's the problem with parallel. It's 6 signals parallel. Okay, so what then I got to divide by 6? I think so, yeah? Or 12, or 10. 12. Divide by 12. Okay, so divide by 12. Okay, so there's an oversight. I'm using the signal in parallel. It's combining them. So it's essentially just killing because they're overlapping. They have to be in stereo. Okay, so let's put them in serial then. Because there's just no way out of it, right? Because if I'm overlapping them again and again, the one with the cut or the boost is just adding to the other one where it isn't. So it's just putting it back or compensating. It's putting back the cut where it's overcompensating on the boost. Do I have these patches selected? Or okay. Then I'm gonna kill all these inputs. Upload line. There's just no way around it unless I'm phase inverting. And you can't cut with a phase inverter. Boost with a phase inverter, but you can't cut. Okay, so in serial. Not sure how I'm going to pull off blanking out certain ones then. I mean, the minimum of 5, right? I don't know, notes between notes. Notes between notes for inharmonics might be less than 5, so it might be 3. So what's going to have to happen is only 3 will be active. And then as it goes along, there'll be a switch that kind of turns on consecutive pieces. It's the only way I can really see it happening. Okay, so now it's sort of repaired, right? Let's pull it. Put it back because we need I want the scales and not scales and those between those two. Save it. It's also going to be different with the scaling. So many variables. Because it might just have to be spread out. So there might have to be bridges between each and every one. Okay, so again, nothing. Okay, so now we have nothing. Why do we have nothing? Input's broken? Just cut it. Can't cut it. Delete it then. And now this is backwards. I lost all my inputs. Maybe by I mean backwards, I mean here. On the parent, it's the opposite side, so this should be working. Did I miss a layover? In to the next. Yeah, looks like they're all running. Maybe I accidentally patched into. Here's one. There it is. Okay. Okay, save it again, just so it doesn't ask later. Exports. Pull it. And out. Okay, and then look at this. In. Okay, should play. Is that the same volume now? Yes, it is. Pretty much untouched, but it goes mono now. Okay, so it should be 10. I'm gonna fix that right now. What do we want to do? We're boosting harmonics. Now let's look at down here somewhere. I didn't put it in the thing. I thought I did. There's extra stuff. Razor chroma. I'm not gonna use that. Let's go ahead and delete that right now. Open. Razor chroma. Bye bye. Okay, so I don't have it. I'll set it now. And plus here, and then we'll go high res, and then we're gonna fiddle with this stuff for 0.5, range high of 0, frequency high, low is fine. Turn this down, no, turn it up. Average time fast, overlap full. Neighbors are hammering on something. Okay. Now I can send this to effects and we'll mute that for the time being. And then we'll send span plus here to visual. Add the plugin database flags favorite. Okay, and then we're gonna go. I really double clicking the banner would give me full screen, but it doesn't. Okay. Let's hide that. There's that awesome synth rhythm thing. Now we're gonna jump on home peak here. Close this. I'm gonna do some boosting here. I think it's because the width is so small. Be a tighter pull. So we're boosting harmonics here. Just in the 5th octave, somewhere around A5 here. It's A at A. Let's go by maybe 45. Yeah, there it is, huh? My computer doesn't like it. Neither does FL Studio. It's like, you're speaking, man! Okay, so let's do the dynamics filter limiter. Okay. So at least we can hear it. This is holding up pretty decently. So there it is, it's working. Yeah. the width a little bit. I'll get them thick. Or it just sounds like a bunch of inharmonic, eh? Super thin. Oh, it doesn't like that. It's resonating. That's what's happening. 5, 1, 1. A little bit left. 2.5. Okay, there. Stop resonating. How thin those are. What does that look like in computer is not happy. What does that look like in Wave Candy? As a spectrum. Give me the low end. Interesting. Picking it up a bit more again. We're gonna go back to 10. Yeah, let's go down to 30 here. It's almost touching 6. We're coming from A4, really? Am I off in my calculations or something? The G sharp 5. Okay, so let's go to the next octave here, Sticks. Drop down to the last octave. Really thicken it up. My volume control doesn't want to work here. And lower octave. See, it looks like it's off. It goes from A2 to G3. Okay, so yeah, it starts at A, right? Maybe I want to shift that around a little bit. I'm not sure. So what is this? 140, I can't even hear that. Go to octave 6. 7. 8. Back to 5. Do a cut now. Let's cut these notes. Like it's just cleaning. Turn it up. Completely chop them right out. Completely chop the water. Look at that whole thing is gone. 25? Didn't put much back. 20. A little bit left. You can see on the higher end it recovered more than the bottom end. And as we get into a higher octave, the space between them becomes bigger, so now more come back. 20. We can start chopping more. 50. Gone. 40. We get like this interesting sound, right? So now there's nothing there but partials. That's why I chose an FM instrument. So now if we go inharmonic, all we have left are harmonics. 5, back down to about 10. It's like cleans up. Width to about 5. Get it resonating. Loose pull. It just totally wipes it wipes everything out because they're so close together, right? 10. 12. See, I'm looking more interested in the spectrum. I'm not even looking here anymore. Up to 5 here. Get this range. And back to harmonic. Say we want to clean up 5K to plus. So what is 5K? Let's see, 8. Let's go to octave 8. Yeah. Totally killed it, but we need more. Let's go 100. Right. Totally combed it. Maybe 50. Definitely interesting. Now just harmonics are coming through. Can't even really see it. Gotta rebalance the top end. So not a lot there. I mean, I could totally set up a generic tool, and there's not much left to do. Hopefully I got some more time tomorrow to put into it. However, that's it for now. I'm going to call it here. Check out my website, jwpsite.com, for my social links, latest news and updates, and public offerings. If you'd like to help support what I do, check out my Patreon, JWP Patreon. That's with 2 P's. There's exclusive content there for making your own audio plugins. If you're watching this on YouTube, a like, comment, and/or subscribe are appreciated. Thanks for watching. Until next time.